Hello and greetings from Iceland. This is it, the silver button that I recently got from YouTube for reaching the milestone of getting 100,000 subscribers. And like I promised a while ago, it's about time to tell you all there is to know about my channel, like how I turned my life around to do this adventure, and what to expect from the channel in the future. And although it has been growing quite well, it is still just as unstable as an Icelandic volcano. I have actually only been able to upload a little portion of my work since last year. So this video is more or less about what I have on all of those hard drives lying around, when I will publish what is there, and in what context. And I have organized this video a bit like I organize my playlists, and I will be taking you through them one by one, talking about the changes. So I am in a way structuring this video as I'm structuring my channel, because it's a bit long, so it will include a video show, of course, or the kind of video show I like to do, because I can play around with the footage selection more than I can in other videos. So I'm just going to have fun with that during this trip of ours that actually started with an information video that I made about what 5 volcanoes are getting ready to erupt in Iceland. One of my first videos. So volcano and earthquake news were my topic of choice from the start, because it's a dynamic topic. It can include different types of geological formations that can made into endless stories with science, speculations. But as for my channel, this involves also history, since this story on the Reykjanes Peninsula, it grew hotter than I could imagine. And the volcano news, they grew to be a bit dominating than I expected on the channel. So on the downside, after the first 4 or 5 eruptions, I had already numerous other video topics on hold, or topics and playlists that I hoped to bring more stability as for the view count on the channel. But there was no way back from the main topic, volcano news. And I have always wanted to do a documentary, and I can't think of a better way to do it than to use the hundreds of vlogs I've already produced that not only include the news, but also my responses and emotions from the time this started. This huge event that might go on for 200 years. And I was just following my instinct, and I have countless hours of footage already, in addition to my vlogs, that I look at as storyboards to work with in a documentary. But on the downside, this had to become my main job for months. And I have an old friend in Reykjavík that gets stuck with me for days or weeks every now and then, so I can stay closer to Grindavík, because I'm 450 kilometers away from Reykjavík. And during those trips, I can fully admit that seeing the town Grindavík sort of dissolve in front of me in slow motion, it took a lot from the joy that I usually get from going around filming. In fact, I felt miserable and in shock while doing many of my updates after November 10th, since I know this town Grindavík well, and I was in the town almost every day before the rifting event. And I captured actually some of the last images and video from the town on November 9th, not knowing that it was the last day for that community as it used to be. And I was also doing thermal scans every now and then, because we had no idea back then where the eruption would come up. So this is not an experience that came with the job description when I decided to move into content creation. But this left me, however, in this unique position to be able to make before and after videos when the time is right, and even more because I've been filming between eruptions as well, in many cases capturing some of the last images or videos from a land that is now under lava. So at the end of the day, I am glad that I took this decision to go after this. This is such a major event, not just for Grindavík, but the history of Iceland. Those frequent eruptions have, of course, a lot to do with how the channel grew, but I knew it all along that the news-related content would not be my ticket into stability. In fact, the view count on the channel is just as unstable as an Icelandic volcano, and that is not working for me. So I actually started to work with that fact early on. First I took the playlist with volcano news and split it into 2 categories, and the new category is more about mini documentaries, and that playlist has way more stability as for view count, and they can be very helpful when I'm doing my short updates if I have to refer to more information, plus the fact that they help new viewers a lot. So I recently upgraded my microphone since I was a bit reluctant to do those videos that I expect to live longer than updates, and I have way more footage to work with now when I'm making such videos. But I'm planning that the next such projects will cover the volcanoes around the city, but I might, however, change my priority list since this is Iceland and something new might come up. But let's move to the biggest new project that I've been hiding away until the time would be right. And I'm not talking about something that is new on YouTube. This is actually a popular niche, and best of all, I can, with my own approach, make this content very appealing to my existing group of viewers, since it fits well into my channel's theme, and we can call this slow TV. If you type in Iceland 4K on YouTube, you will find similar videos that are often around 1 hour long or nature only with slow music. The longest such videos, they can be up to 8 hours long, but they are often loops. But at the other end of this category, there are many good drone pilots on YouTube using Iceland, producing some of the best drone videos ever shot in my country. And this category, it fixes some of my problems with volcano updates, because when I'm doing them, I'm doing text that limits what I can show, the B-roll. Like I might have a good 30-second panning shot or even longer, but I might only be able to show 10 or 15 seconds from it in an update that will be forgotten in a few days. And in some cases, when it comes to updates, I'm showing versions that might not be fully processed, only minor adjustments. So I am in fact always filming with long videos in mind. And I have actually published short versions of such videos, and they are already getting good views. And that told me that I don't need a separate channel to show content like this. But where does this project stand now? I had big plans for last summer, but the weather failed miserably. Plus the situation on the Reykjanes Peninsula, it took a lot of my time. But I was, however, always getting some bits and pieces, and I know I have enough to produce the first hours with good footage throughout the whole video. But to process all this footage according to the standards I have is a huge work. And as for music, I will be using Envato elements as usual. I always find something there. But what music I will use exactly, it will depend on each video theme. And it's in a way hard not to come up with a theme that doesn't involve geology in some way, since the landscape here in Iceland is so young, and I have several ideas to work from. But most importantly, I want to edit this from a fully curated stock. If I would be working with not even fully sorted stock, where some of the clips are ready, others not, it would constantly be breaking up my workflow and constantly doing adjustments that might not fit for other projects or burning up time. And I want my footage to have its best moments on big screens. I have to process it in such a way, so to work my way back through all my older footage as well turned out to be way more work than I expected, in addition to the terabytes that shot this summer. So when I'm not editing for YouTube, this is what I'm doing. And after this work is done, when my video stock is like I want to have it, it will help me a great deal when it comes to creativity in editing. And this Slow TV project is like 1 or 2 months away now, or until the first videos appear. But I have another playlist that will undergo a lot of changes before that. There we have a new project as well. And the playlist that will grow fat from those projects is called Tourist Tips. But in some cases, the filming I will be doing for this project might fit for slow TV, but it's a bit too early. And this kind of footage is a bit back to basics for me, because some of my first videos were actually shot from the hood of my car, but I'm today using a way better camera and I'm positioning it way better as well, high up, and I'm taking the post process all the way for best possible quality. But why to move into this category when I have the drone and all that, where I can get a much better view and move it more around? And for a while I felt as I would not go back to this kind of videos. But the reason why I'm doing this is quite simple. Drive around videos can capture often what the drone can't. I can use the camera where I can't often use the drone. And car videos have in a way a default storyboard, the road, and whatever appears on it. And I will use this footage to cover many of our secondary roads, even unlisted roads, and many of them are often without any bridges. So this addition to my tourist tips is also about road safety. And I am actually not the first one to use mountain roads to make such videos. There are actually many such videos already online, and in most cases made by tourists, and I am thankful for that effort, because those videos have been very helpful when it comes to questions like, is the car I'm using suitable for this road? And how does the rivers look? Can I cross them? So we don't have to find it out the wet way. But those videos already online, they are from different sources, often very old and outdated, as for rivers especially, that change through time. And I feel as they lack consistency in quality, and as for how much information we can find there. So there is no single channel that covers all the roads, where everything is shot when the conditions are right, and that is why I want the camera position to be good and the video quality to be excellent, because that's the only way to make the trip itself to be fun to watch, just like when we look at the drone videos. So I've been doing numerous tests this summer, and I have done most of the mistakes I need to do, but it was a major problem to make a suitable car holder. And my last version, I had a great day when I was trying it out, made several videos until the police stopped me. And as for this series, I'm now working on details like how much information should I include in those videos. But I've already processed a few hours, so they are ready for editing. And it won't be long until the first videos of this kind appear. And I'm hoping that the first videos will provide me with all the feedback I need before I hit the road again next summer. But I will of course shoot winter videos as well with this new setup. And I am realistic as always. I do not expect that videos like that will become a major part of my channel, but they will be a necessary part of my channel as an information source. And I'm not going to do this in a hurry. I will only be doing this kind of filming when the conditions are suitable. And videos shot like this will also become a part of another playlist that might be my most important playlist into the future, or Icelandic towns. That playlist started with just one little camera on the hood of my car, not even a good camera, sitting way too low. And at first I didn't include any information about what it was seeing. But I managed to read most of the comments in the comment section, and I started to use subtitles at first for extra information. It is a bit lame method, so I started to do voiceovers, and then I added the drone footage. That worked a bit better, but when I added the drone footage, it meant that the older videos in this playlist looked not very good. So I threw away countless hours of work there, the oldest videos. And still, when I look at some of the older episodes, although they have improved a lot from the first version, I tend to get the idea to replace them. And I might do so in many cases. But the older episodes, they do, however, have a good information value still. And it's only recently, when I see decent views on the new episodes, Still not as much as a volcano update made in a hurry, but then I'm thinking long term about my channel as an information source. And my town videos, they are not the typical tourist videos. If I would be sponsored by the tourist industry, I would have to sugarcoat everything. And I want to talk about things my way, because I don't like sterilized videos like the tourism industry manufactures. And those main playlists, earthquake and volcano news and documentaries about the same topic and the tourist-related content, this will be the backbone of my channel into the future. But I want to talk also about the playlists that I have removed. Like I had a playlist about Icelandic road tunnels. It merged with my tourist tip content, and I'm also replacing those videos that are quite old. All shot before I got the drone, but the older versions, they will be here until they will be replaced, because the information value is still there. And then I had a playlist called The History of Iceland. It merged with a playlist called Icelandic Culture, and I used to have a long playlist on my channel with Icelandic comedy sketches with English subtitles, and that one, it didn't work out as for views. So I moved it to a little Icelandic channel I have, and I'm linking to the playlist because I kept the subtitles on the videos. So the content is still out there, but it just didn't fit for this platform here. And then I have a little playlist called Icelandic Weather and Nature. It's where I keep videos with all sorts of weather anomalies and natural disasters, other than volcanoes. But this topic is quite open, so I might split that one up in future. And the last playlist I will be talking about, or the last department, it contains only a few videos, but that will change very soon. It is called Space and Northern Lights, and that leads us to a story about the equipment I use. My hard drives include thousands of RAW files from my old Nikon camera. I should have made them into time-lapses already, but I'm still developing the process for it, and I didn't want to finalize that process until I had replaced my camera. There was this turning point 2 years ago when I came back with over 1,000 RAW files after a good Northern Lights show, and a few days later the shutter in my camera gave up, and I had to admit what I had suspected, that there is no future in time-lapsing unless I would be using a mirrorless camera with no moving parts. And I had another reason to replace my old main camera, or the fact that my old Nikon doesn't shoot in 4K, and it was way better at shooting photos than videos. So it has been a big deal for me to find a mirrorless camera. And I also needed it to be a video camera of such quality that I could justify a plane tour with it, or the ticket price, or to do what drones can't do, shoot from higher up in more quality than I've ever done before. In some cases, in order to map where I would be using the drone, where it would take over. And to do that properly, it's best to shoot in 8K, not just to pull out every detail, but it's also to stabilize the image, because footage shot from a plane is not as stable as footage shot from a drone with a good gimbal. So what I wanted was a good enough video camera for serious documentary work, and it would also have to be a high megapixel still photo camera to shoot photos in a large format, which is the weak side of my drone. And I thought for a while that this would be like finding the girl I never found. But I think I have succeeded. I mean, with the camera. So just recently, when I was getting the package from YouTube, I got another package from America, and it was the Nikon Z8. It is very likely the best value I could get, since this is a hybrid camera. I only need one set of lenses, and the donation accounts associated with my channel, they turned out to be very helpful. So many thanks to you who have been helping out through time. And it was my decision a long time ago that every penny coming into those donation accounts would be used to improve the quality of the work on the channel. And I've taken some major steps into that direction now. And the first part of the upgrade was about to buy the camera body, and with a lens adapter for my older F-mount lenses for my older camera, because this wasn't cheap. Then I waited for some time and took a deep breath again and bought myself a couple of good lenses with the mount for this new camera. And the last part of this is to replace the zoom lens. It is not as urgent, and my older zoom lens that I can still use with the adapter is still very good. But I am selling my old gear now to go through the last part of this upgrade, or should we say the last major part. I might of course add something to my camera gear as time moves on, but I'm almost through the hard part. But back to this short playlist I have about Northern Lights and such. And the low light photography is kind of my thing. We have fantastic conditions here in Iceland. We have something to show the world due to the little light pollution and other pollution here. And I always have this urge to see what human eyes can't see, especially when it comes to astrophotography. And in the next days, we will see a comet come close to Earth, and it gives us this unique chance to see it on the move. And this is the first sample from a Z8 with a wide lens. This time-lapse is not fully processed. This was just a quick fix just to show you the stars and the shooting stars. So I have now the gear that I need to produce hopefully excellent quality. So this playlist with the night sky, it will be a side project, and I have still some hours left to do some online seminars and find my own method to do the final process. And you will see something soon. I have already been playing around. And this new camera, it does more. Like I can shoot 4K in 120 frames a second. It wasn't a major feature when I decided to get this camera. But standing by this waterfall a while ago, seeing how the slowed down footage in this quality was working, I figured that this is opening up the doors to lots of details that are hard to see. Even just a duck on a pond slowed down looks way more interesting, especially since I have this image quality now and those good lenses. And this upgrade, it included lots of other things. I had to upgrade my memory cards as well to handle 8K RAW. I got myself a pair of cordless microphones good enough for interviews, but that is also a certain statement from a channel. I want to move into documentaries that involve interviews, but as for the channel, I have everything I need now to do interviews with geologists and other experts someday, because I can't get a better practice elsewhere. Sound recordings are new to me. I am way better in Photoshop. But the most important tool of the channel has been the drone. For some part, because I've been reluctant to use my old DSLR to shoot videos because it's not 4K. But drone footage is, however, very popular, and I've been using the DJI Air 3. They are fast, they have long range, long battery lifetime, and they come back with excellent quality for the money. But I had to go through a learning curve, and I have 3 bad drone crashes on my list. The last one just yesterday, so I still have my older Air 2S drone with me all the time as a backup, because I ran into problems last year on the Highlands, and I will have to use it again in the next days if I go out flying. But it's no secret that I want to get myself a professional grade drone. And the main reason is the low light capabilities that my Air 3 lacks in a way. But I'm not going to decide how I upgrade or when until I see the new lineup and prices. So I have no specific drone in mind, and my tool budget has been bleeding a lot already. Like I knew it in the beginning of the year that I would have to do the Highlands, so I got rid of my little economical four-wheel drive car and got myself one of the cheapest Land Cruisers out there, 20 years old, looks and drive decently, And those cars that used to run and run if they're taken care of. One of the most popular car in Iceland ever. And this made a whole lot of difference for me. I could carry everything with me that I need to have, including the e-bike. And I could do many of the trails this summer that I couldn't go last year. So I came back with footage in many cases that I'm very pleased with. And I still haven't published most of it. And what I have on my hard drives after this summer just have to do the trick, make this work. And the last summer was so much about chasing little spots of sun here and there, because I needed pure summer footage for those longer videos I'm producing. And then I have a thermal drone always with me. It has proven to be a good addition to my channel. But as for the summer, I didn't have much time to use it, but that is getting better. And I have several ideas that I want to try out this winter, and I will, of course, follow up on the projects that I have already going. Project that the thermal drone made possible, like the Hot Highway, and another spot on the Reykjanes Peninsula that is warming up. And more about the equipment. I do have a Nikon Super Zoom camera that I bought specifically for the Katla eruption that we expected for a while last year. It's still a bad investment with almost no return, but if volcanoes like Askja or Katla and even Bárðarbunga will erupt, which will be the case someday, that camera will be the hero of the day when it comes to hard to get footage. Maybe even the only camera that manages to capture anything, because it will be very hard and likely impossible to get close to those major eruptions. So I am well prepared. I need a bit more time to practice with the new Nikon. There are some technical issues still to be solved because this is a very advanced camera, and it's a camera that I plan to own for a long time, and I want to learn properly how to use it, since it is my plan in the future to film some of the major volcanic systems from a plane with it. And I better know what I'm doing if I take this camera into a plane. This is not as I can just book a tour and take off. I need luck as well, especially when it comes to light. I have to be at the right airport at the right time, getting the right seat in the right type of plane with the right type of window that can be opened during flights. And I can get into such scheduled tourist tours, but they would only be usable for practice while finding out what settings are doing it for me. And when I will move this up to a serious level, I would have to rent a plane in order to fly over certain areas and film them like they deserve, like they have never been filmed before actually. And I've mentioned it numerous times on the channel that I want to be able to make documentaries about certain volcanic systems here in Iceland, but only with excellent footage. All the landscape features pop out. It is therefore good news that I finally have a camera that is good enough to justify expenses like plane tickets or yet another milestone, especially after I have learned a bit more about how to use it or all its features. And I'm therefore optimistic that my dream about documentaries will become real, and my portfolio holds a bit of experience now that will help me, because I will have to get such a project funded, maybe even here in Iceland. But that is a problem to solve later, before next summer, and I've already come a long way with this project, although I had to do many detours to make things work. But things had a tendency to work out with the right mindset and intentions. I have worked in service all my life, and this is nothing different. The Just Icelandic channel is an information channel that has just started, and this is still a bit of a bumpy ride for me. If I can make a living from a job that I like to do, I will like the job even more, and that will hopefully shine through my content. And looking at the early problems I had when I first started, the 2 years without monetization, this looks pretty well. And ending this with many thanks to you who have been using the channel, and with that I'm sending you best regards from the volcano island, Iceland.